What's up, guys? Jermaine Seguiers here, back at it again on another episode of Life After Sportz. We are more than just athletes. I have an awesome athlete, former athlete, who's doing some amazing things to inspire the world, to inspire people to live purpose-driven lives. Ladies and gentlemen, Jake Ducey. What's up, Jake? How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man, and it's great to be here. We're in a little passion portal between computers right now.
You know what? I'm so thankful that you have, taken the time to speak with us. And for people who don't know who Jake Ducey is, can you share some about your athletic accomplishments, some things you're doing in the business world, and so people can know who you are, my man?
Absolutely. Thanks. Yeah, today people would say, that I'm an author. I wrote a book, Into the Wind, that came out April 16th, and it made the Amazon best-selling list.
Okay.
And I'm 22. I would have just graduated college this last May. Right now we are in end of October 2013, so I would have graduated May 2013.
Okay.
And I grew up in San Diego. I went to La Costa Canyon High School, which was number one in San Diego while I was playing for Division I, and California is, a lot of great athletes down there. And so my whole life was focused on basketball. By the time I was a freshman in college, I quit, freshman in high school, I quit other sports, which was baseball and football, and my whole focus for everything that I did was basketball. I didn't get that great of grades, and I figured basketball was what was going to get me through life. And I was first team All-CIF senior year, captain of my team, was top in the county for three-pointers, and tore something in my knee my senior year. And actually my IT band, which is the iliotibial band, is what connects your hip down to your knee. And my whole life had been focused on being inside a gym and basketball. I don't know what my face looks like, but if you saw a picture of me before and after, now and then, I was spent all my time inside. I was not in the sun, and my hair was not this long. And when I tore something in my leg and I was out, I finished the season, and I had offers to play some D2 ball, and I had the tear in my knee. And then at the end of the season, we realized we lost on a half-court buzzer shot, and we were the number one team in San Diego, and that's how we lost in CIF.
Wow.
And so we didn't make it to state because we lost by one on a half-court shot.
Wow.
And that was really disheartening. I think that if I was if I had the level of understanding, I think of my thoughts and my feelings and my emotions today, then I probably would have been able to use it to my advantage a lot better than in high school. It just killed me. It was the most heartbroken. I still get the chills from it.
Wow.
Because, anything in life, if you put your whole life to something, all your focus, and, especially if you're playing the season injured and then you lose like that, it's pretty demoralizing. And after that happened, I found out 2 days later my IT band was torn off the bone. So it's pretty rare, so I had to get surgery. And I was out for a long time, and I also didn't really have an interest in basketball for a little bit because if something breaks your heart that bad, man, sometimes it's hard to just be like, okay, I'm gonna go out again. It's like,
right,
gosh,
I know exactly. And so you walk away from sports. You're done playing. You leave school. You embark on this new chapter in your life. You want to do something totally different away from the sports field. Now, what did you experience when you were out there? You left sports. How did your life transition to you where you are now? What are some things that really helped you and inspired you throughout that journey when you stepped away from sports and led you to the direction you are now?
When you're playing basketball and there's a ball on the ground and there's only one ball and that's what you're focused on, and it's like you'll do whatever it takes to get the loose ball. You'll horse collar someone and jump over the other person and make sure you get the ball. And I realized that when my dream became to write, that I could do the same thing. I could use that focus that I learned in sports on how to maximize my potential and my focus and just what's happening in the moment to get what I need to get out of life.
Right.
And I implemented that to writing, and my book is I left school to travel. And that was because I realized I was on this path. I was going to get a business degree. I was going to do all these things and become successful or whatever. But I realized none of it made me happy. And so I went to Guatemala is where I started. And there I saw kids that this beautiful $1 million views, these priceless smiles, and these priceless smiles have holes in their teeth.
Wow.
And the kids have holes in their shoes too. They're wearing the same clothes day after day after day after day. But this is also never changing either. They're always like this. They're just happy, you know?
Yes.
And I saw that living it didn't mean that you had everything. It just meant you made the most of what you have, that you could still be happy, regardless if you lost your game, if you missed a buzzer shot, regardless of what happened. And I realized for so much of it, I would let my night get ruined if I shot bad from the 3-point line, you know?
Yes.
It's man, there's so much other stuff happening in the world that I think that I personally lost sight of.
Wow.
And so that really opened me up, and I realized I had to extend my path. So I went to Australia, and there I actually just got a tent, and I was just staying near the beach.
Wow.
And I was meeting different people all over Australia. Everyone's backpacking. So I met people from Argentina, from Europe, from Asia, this guy from Japan that didn't really even speak English, and he became my friend. We didn't even understand each other. And I was experiencing all these things that I hadn't experienced inside of a basketball gym before.
Right.
And then I went to Indonesia, and I was walking around, and I realized I lost all my bank cards, my wallet, you know?
Wow.
And it's can you imagine, you're in this third world country. I grew up with all these first world things, always having a bank card, always have,
Exactly.
And they're gone. And I met this man named Rudy, and he took me in the concrete shacks where they live, these little shacks, and fed me. I had no food or money. He fed me coconut fried cow, fish with the eyes on it, and I stayed hanging out with them on the curbs, and ultimately we went hiking one day. We went up to their favorite waterfall. They were so excited. They wanted to take me there. And it was pouring rain, and we were climbing up kind of boulders, and I slipped, and I fell.
Wow.
And I could see my life flashing before my eyes, did it matter? I was just thinking all these things, and I hit the ground, and I covered myself up, and the water was rushing on top of me, and I opened my eyes. And when you play a sport your whole life, this is another way basketball has really helped me. I know my body really well now because of sports.
Yes.
You've got to figure out, you got to know it to make it perform well.
Yes.
And so when I hit the ground and I kind of looked, I opened my eyes and I was bleeding, and I kind of moved my legs and my arms. I was like, okay, I could tell nothing's broken.
Right.
You can just tell. Your body well.
Exactly.
And that really assured me, because I was like, am I gonna be dead here? How am I gonna get out of here? And the water's rushing on me, and I roll over, and one of them, named Johnny, jumped off after me. And this guy, I don't even know him, and he just could have died, jumped off after me. And I was like, wow, I just lost it. I didn't even know this guy, and he's living life so fully that he's willing to risk it for somebody else.
Wow.
And that really opened me up. I was like, man, I realized that you don't need to travel around the world to find yourself. Just make the most of the opportunities in front of you to help people, to make a difference. That living it isn't where you go, but what you do. How are you living your life? How am I living my life? And I was like, man, I want to share this. I realized the purpose of life was to share our gifts, our realizations with other people. And I wanted to write a book. So I wrote this book, and went through the process of getting it out there, and it came out April 16th this year, and it made the Amazon best-selling list.
Wow.
And a lot of people say to me, my mom, nobody, a basketball player studying business drops out, and he's like, I'm gonna write a book, and I got a 1400 on my SAT, and I taught myself all these things through what I learned in sports, actually. Like, if you stood at the free throw line for 6 hours in a day, you're going to probably shoot 100% during the season or really close to it. You know, that's why J.J. Redick shot like 99.9% for his college career from the free throw line, because he was like, this is what I'm going to do. And I've redirected that. I've clarified goals for my life, whether that's to help certain individuals, a number of people, to speak in certain events, to write a book. I'm writing a new one. I set everything goal-oriented like I would with a sport. And then it's the same thing as a loose ball. I'm like, get that ball, you know? Go after it.
Yes.
And so that's how sports has really helped me. And that took me a little bit after to see that, because I got so burnt out from sports. That took me a minute to really realize how much it's really helped me. And the benefits for my life has been, I feel like my life lacked meaning for a lot of it. You know, I felt like, man, there's got to be more meaning than just, can I make this shot? And then if I don't, then my day's ruined, and I don't even want to like give positive energy to someone I see at the store or something like that. So that's an overview. It's just cool talk, because I've never done one like this where it's been incorporated into sports. And sometimes maybe I can forget how big of a part sports were of my life. It was all day, every day for 20 years, you know? Wow. And I think there's a lot to take out of that in regards to all these things that we do in order to prove ourselves in our sport. We can take all that energy and direct it on how we can improve ourselves too. And I think that's what I realized. And to me, that's what personal development is. It's like replicating the same thing we use to excel in an activity, how we can excel as a person more so.
Definitely. And I appreciate you just giving me a quick summary of all those great things that you did. You traveled the world, and the little things in life meant so much to those kids in Guatemala. And we're sitting over here, we miss a basketball shot, or we lose a football game, and we get so down on ourselves. And I believe that athletes, we shouldn't spend so much time contemplating or thinking about the game, but more so, how can I be a better person in the world? What can I do to have a fully purpose-fulfilled life? And right now, you're explaining the details of just the little things in life make you happy. It doesn't matter where you are in life, whether you play sports, whether you're just a regular person, your purpose in life, getting that purpose. So now that you traveled the world, you wrote a book, you're back in California, you're making a difference in people's lives. What are you actually doing? What kind of services are you offering to people to help them besides the book? Like, what else are you doing?
Yeah, first I'd like to say also that it was something about, I wanted to add on to what you were saying a moment ago.
Okay.
I'll see if it comes to me. Kind of left me. But yeah, I mean, what I do is, my favorite thing to do is to write. So right now I'm writing a new book. I try to write a blog 3 times a week. I have a YouTube channel where I make casual videos, but also I write scripts, inspirational scripts, and we edit them and put them together to inspire people. I have an interview YouTube series where I've interviewed a lot of individuals. See, we have a commonality in regards to, I've kind of started this interview process where I interview some athletes, and I'm calling it Transcend Sport. Okay. I don't want to know about how the waves were, the half pipe was, or about the 3-pointer. I want to know what challenges you faced in getting to where you are. And so that's something else that I do. I've interviewed people from Laird Hamilton, who at one time surfed the largest wave ever, to so far as Bucky Lasek, who just won all 4 golds in the X Games, and he's 42. So I was like, man, you're competing against 20-year-olds. Like, that's what I'm interested in. How do most people start that limiting belief? I'm too old, And so that's another thing that I do. That's a lot of free content that I offer that costs me time and money to create. That's a way that I want to add value to people's lives. And I'm working on a new book. Okay. A few different working titles. I'm asking the question, what are the common threads, the common principles, these common things between some of the greatest social influencers and contributors to the world that our generation can relate to.
Definitely.
So I've divided into 27 principles of different things that I find when we really look at these people that I've interviewed or ones I've studied. They're doing the same things. There's keys and certain steps that we can all take to improving our lives or improving our ability to hit three-pointers or improving our vertical. There's certain principles and focuses and characteristics that all these people are using to achieve high levels of human potential. And so it's about these principles, because I feel when we're on these principles, we're getting more meaning out of our life. And my book is about how to get more meaning out of your life.
Awesome. I have two questions before I wrap it up. The first one is, what does success mean to you, and how can you help athletes have a bigger picture of success being more than just being success on the basketball court? Like, how can you really help athletes and just people see a bigger picture on life? Because here at Life After Sportz, we emphasize on personal development. And as former athlete, I want to get your insight on how we can help our athletes develop away from sports to develop them personally.
Yeah, when you said that, it reminded me of what I was thinking of that I forgot. Okay. And that's that. You were talking about, we're shooting and we miss our shot and then it ruins our day. If we really look at that, we're going to perform worse the next time because we're in a negative state. And so I think something that we can really practice a certain level of detachment from outcome in sports. And I feel that will allow us to perform better. We'll have less pressure, less expectations, less tension in our body.
Yes.
And we're doing these things. So I think that's the matter of focusing on process rather than outcome, which is one of the chapters in my new book. When we're focused on the process and getting lost in the journey of loving what we do, not only are we in a more optimal emotional state, but we're also more productive, and when we're doing that, we're going to play better.
Right.
And so reminding ourselves to do that is, I guess that's kind of my answer to your question. That's how we can improve ourselves as individuals and athletes, I think. Is realizing that the purpose of a goal or winning and achieving anything is really who we're becoming in that process.
Yes, definitely. So congratulations on being selected for TEDx Speaker. I know that event was, I believe, a couple days ago, correct?
Yeah, it was 3 days ago. Thank you.
Can you share a little about what TEDx is and the feeling you have for being able to speak on that type of powerful platform and being selected? Can you share a little about that?
I can, but my words will only limit it.
Yes. Okay.
It's pretty special, when you have a goal and things happen, like there's tons of people and there's 1,000 people in the audience, and TED, all my heroes have given TED speeches. Wow. So to be able to give one in B22 is like, it's pretty, it made me emotional for sure. And TED is the catchphrase is ideas worth sharing. So these are some of these people that have given TED Talks range from Olympic athletes to movie stars to professional development to authors, basically people that have foremost innovative ideas or inventions or stories to tell. And so they have a conference and they bring people in and they have different ones across the world. I imagine every week or every month or something like that. And so it was like, it was definitely something. I feel that there's a lot of people there, and I feel being able to have played in front of a lot of people in sports may have also calmed me down too. That's something else I think I learned from sports, being okay if somebody's watching you or something.
Definitely. So you have a book out, Into the Wind, and you have a new book coming out, and you're doing some amazing things on your blog. You're interviewing people. How can people stay updated with Jake Ducey? I mean, what's the website? What's the social What's the Twitter? How do people just get involved and see what you're doing?
Thanks. Yeah, this went short, and it was great though. And if anyone's looking, if this caught anyone's interest, you can a lot more detailed stuff on my website, which is jakeducey.com.
Okay.
D as in David, UCEY. My book's Into the Wind. You can check that out on Amazon. Read the reviews. It's a 5-star review. And on my website, you can check up for other things. Facebook is Jake Ducey Author, and you can come join the community. That'd be awesome. YouTube is just my name, Jake Ducey.
Okay.
And on my website, you can see a lot of things, events, places I'm going to speaking at. I'm about to launch an online course here pretty soon, which is geared towards how to get more meaning out of our life, and it's going to be I'm really excited about it. And so lots of cool stuff like that I hope you come check out.
Jake Ducey, inspiration, personal development, purpose-driven person who wants to help athletes, people of all ages, kinds, shapes, to live a purposeful, meaning life. Jake, thank you for being able to come on our show, Life After Sportz. We are more than just athletes. Jake Ducey, ladies and gentlemen, son, author, speaker, activist, more than just an athlete. Thank you so much for being featured on our show today, Jake Ducey. And I wish you much success and keep being outstanding with the great things you're doing. And I look forward to getting a copy of that book too.
Yeah, dude. Thank you, man.
All right,
You're
man.
Awesome work too.
Awesome, man. Take it easy.